Do you have relationship questions? Today's episode will talk everything you need to know about relationship, how to find a godly relationship, who to date. So I have today in the studio.
Destiny Chigozerim Chukwemeka. I'm 22 years.
Wow, you're welcome, Destiny. So do you have
Thank you.
any challenge with relationship or any question as pertaining to relationship? Whatever is in your heart, just let it flow.
Okay. These days,
Mm.
relationship is a very vital issue because a lot of us are out there on social media and the things we see are giving us a different view about the world and shows that relationship, a lot shows how toxic relationship can be.
Mm.
So, I hope that with this session, and if you answer my questions,
Mm.
we'll get the relationship aspect better
Okay.
as Christian youth.
Okay.
So number one question,
Mm.
uh when is it right for a Christian youth to start dating, to go into a relationship?
Okay. So, like, what age?
When is it right? Yes, what age? Like age, um time, maybe if it's a thing that has to do with age, if it's a thing that has to do with your mindset or your plan for your future, when is it right for a Christian youth to start dating, to go into a relationship?
Okay. So, let me use this analogy I got from Dr. Miles Moro to explain this answer to you. He said the first 25 years of a man's life or a girl's life is for me, is for the person. In the first 25 years, this is when you should go to school. This is when you should acquire a skill. This is where you should take care of your parents and stay in the house, do house chores. This is where you should advance yourself and prepare for adult life. So his idea came from the fact that he said an average lifespan of any person is 75 years. In other words, life is divided into 375, into 325.
Mm,
The first 25 is for me, the second 25 is for we, that is from age 26 to 50. This is where you should be thinking about having starting the family. This is when you should be done with your basic education. This is when you are working, so you don't really have the me time, because at that point you have a wife that you have to
yes,
feed, and within
okay.
that period you have children that you need to pay school fees. So whatever you miss in the first 25, you might struggle to do it in the second 25. And the final lap, which is from 51 years to 75 years, is for we. This is when you do legacy. This is where you think about the society, how to add value to the society. And this is when most people join politics to give back to the society. So within the first 25 years, I will not advise anybody to date, because at this point you are still trying to discover yourself. So when you are trying to discover yourself and you have another gear to think of, babe, how are you feeling? How are you today? And all of that, you might not be able to give yourself the best life. So there's no formula to this question. However, the moment you are mature, you are able to take care of yourself. You can date. So
Okay.
another thing to find out is, what is dating? Is dating the same thing as courtship? Is dating the same thing as um, just
Relation.
is it a license to have access to a girl's body, a license to do romance? What Okay, so what do you think is dating? Let me ask you before I will answer it. So what is dating to you?
Okay, to me I think dating is like um a form of preparation towards marriage, something like
Wow.
that.
Preparation towards
Towards
marriage.
marriage.
Very
So
key.
when you see someone you like and you guys come together to see if you match,
If you are
if you are
compatible.
compatible
Mm.
to be together forever, something like
That's
that.
very good. So the key word is preparation towards marriage. So And before you should date, you should have a job. Okay, you should have a steady source of income. You should be done with your basic education, which is secondary and university, except you have enough source of income that will not, you don't need to do a 5 to 4, 8 to 9 kind of job, 8 to 5 kind of job, and all of that. So dating basically is not licensed to sin. So what people call dating is having access to another gender to do basically having sex and all. So that is not godly dating. Example is Joseph and Mary in the Bible. So when Mary became pregnant from God, Joseph said, I've not touched you. How come you're pregnant? Even though they've given Mary to Joseph, betrothed as a wife. So in the Bible days, dating is just a Western thing that if we are not careful, we will just do what they are showing on the TV. So it's very important. So any more question?
Okay, okay, okay. So in a what should Christian youth do during dating? Or
Okay.
what should we do during dating? Is it just talk to each other for or you talk about certain things?
Okay. Basically, during dating, this is when you plan for your future. This is when you
Okay.
ask all the questions in your heart. This is where you ask the number of children that you want. This is where you ask the kind of life you want to be, whether you need to japa or you need to stay in Nigeria. During dating is a time for communication. You ask all the questions and just try to envisage scenarios in your head. What will happen if this happen? So that you create picture. So it's basically time for
Okay.
talk. You talk about
So
everything.
it's not just time to just be together asking boyfriend and girlfriend.
No,
It's like
there's more
it's
to
a
it.
planning time
It's
for the
time for
future.
planning. So let me take dating now as courtship, where already, okay, how do you even know? I think the question should be, how will you know if you have
The
seen
right person to
the
date.
right person to marry?
Okay,
Okay,
yes. How should we choose the right person to date?
the right person
Because
to
do
date.
we just go around dating any fine girl we see, like, this girl is fine, let's date and see if we, or there's a
Mhm.
process we have, maybe do we become close first, do we see some things before we go into relationship, or we just go into relationship because okay, this is a fine girl, she's in church.
Okay, so how do you know if she's your wife or the right person to date?
Yes, to date.
Okay, first you have to be compatible. So let me divide compatibility into 4 areas. For me, as example, intellectual compatibility. So when you have a master's, you might not be able to cope with somebody that have not gone to school. Intellectually, you might not be communicating at the same frequency. So it's very good to have intellectual compatibility. Another level of compatibility is spiritual compatibility. So if you're a church boy, you cannot
Mm.
be dating a mommy water, is a
Yeah.
spiritist, or somebody that is not of same faith. You will have clashes. That is spiritual compatibility. Another level of compatibility is social compatibility. Now, how do I explain social compatibility? Are you comfortable holding hands on the street? Are you, or you want, oh, okay, go front, I dey back, make people no
Yeah.
know say we dey together. Okay, can you publicly showcase your babe, like this is my girlfriend and all of that? That is social compatibility. And the final compatibility, okay, spiritual, intellectual, social, economy. Now, one of the major challenges in relationship is how to spend or manage money. Now, you need to be sure this person is not a waster of resources. So the person know how to manage resources very well. I will talk more about it when we get deep into this matter.
Listen, you mentioned now, is it before you go into a relationship or when you're in a relationship? That is,
So,
you notice this before you go into a relationship. That is, will you guys be friends and you notice these 4 things before you go into a relationship?
yeah, so you have to notice it before you go in, and even in the relationship, You have to open
Yes.
your eyes to see those things, because during people when people are in courtship or when you are dating, you are in I'm in love zone. So in love zone, it used to blind our eyes from seeing certain things. You are seeing that this girl is very dirty, but because you are in love, you
Mm,
just I love everything about you. Is a lie. Oh. They say love is blind, but marriage is an eye opener. So you
okay.
don't wait to get into the home before you start realizing certain things, because the covenant that leads to marriage is very strong. It's not something you can break easily.
So now there are some of us that are scared of relationship because
Wow.
we are scared of dating the wrong person. So we don't also to date anybody. So my question is, do you suggest we go for a long-term friendship first before dating, or we should just take the risk and date people we feel that is this thing? Do you
Okay.
suggest in
There's
taking the
no there's
risk?
no formula to relationship. Okay. Some people do quick dating and it works. Some people do long term, like they've
Long-term
been
friendship.
classmates from primary to secondary school and it still did not work. So basically, there's a spiritual aspect of relationship where you have to pray to God so that God will open your eyes to things. Now, there are family limitations. So let me explain marriage for you. I'm bringing my own family limitation. You're bringing your own family limitation. I'm bringing my own family altar. You're bringing your own family altar. So there are things, the spiritual aspect of relationship that you need to settle in the realm of the spirit, and their physical aspect. This is a part of looks, curves, and this particular part is very important. You are attracted to a woman that you like physically, that you like her body built, so that you will not come and be looking at other women.
Mm.
So now another thing to look at is your is the fact that there are over 2 billion women in the world, and you want to choose one person. So you have to be very, 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 very sure of the one person. You have to screen this person. The person has to screen you, because we don't practice polygamy anymore. So you have to marry one person. Do everything you know have to do to make sure that this person is one. Okay. So is there any other thing we are missing? Any question you asked that we are missing?
Mm. Okay, this thing about dating, some people
Hmm.
they date and they get to the point of marriage and the relationships scatters
Is
and they
it
separate
is it as a
at the
result
point
of
of marriage.
genotype?
Yeah, I don't
Or
know. Different. There are different reasons why this thing. Some genotypes, some this thing.
okay.
So, what will you do at that point?
Okay, now a broken relationship is better than a broken marriage. Okay, so one of the things you should find out when you notice you like this girl is to go for genotype test. Make sure you know your genotype. If I'm from 20 years, know your genotype, because I don't advise AS and AS to marry because of the high chances of giving birth to a sickle cell child. You don't want to go through the trauma of going or taking care of a sickler. Is very traumatic. So one of the reasons why people break up before their wedding is because of
To
genotype, which
discover.
is an avoidable error.
Okay.
Another thing is family. So know that marriage, you are marrying the entire family of your spouse, and the person is marrying your family.
Mm.
So for example, before I married my wife, she went through my family interview. I took her to around all my siblings. She didn't know she was coming for interview, but she was just herself. But when she left, I said, Kai, Campbell, this your wife is a good person. I did that before my family. I did that to her with my friends, and they gave me approval before we went further to the relationship. So you need to go through. If your friends say this girl is not a good girl, and you are saying don't worry, she will change. Know that people don't change easily.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
the
yeah.
Holy Spirit is the agent of change. Human being cannot change. Only God can change people. So when they see red flags, you better run. Before we go, I want to talk about three red flags that when you see, you should not even go into the relationship. Number one is anger, uncontrollable anger. Some people, when they're angry, they want to slap, they want to
Smash.
smash the TV. They want to do a lot of things. Send those kind of people to therapy, for therapy, to a therapist, and don't go, because anger is a demon. It's not a physical thing. Another red flag that if you see in a girl you should not marry is financial management. Now, one of the major quality of a woman is her ability to manage money. You see, marriage has a lot of financial body, especially in this time where every day in the market things are increasing. If your wife or your spouse or your girlfriend don't know how to manage money, she's this extravagant person, to me is a red flag. Except you are earning, you have 1 million source of income.
Billionaire. $10.
Even billionaires need somebody that will help them to manage their finances. So anger, financial management. Another thing that you need to run from is a commitment to the things of God. Now, one of the major role models of children is their mother. So if your wife is not godly, she's the one doing TikTok, dancing and shaking her bum bum on TikTok every day, know that is a red flag. Or you need a woman that knows how to pray, that knows how to war in the spirits. There are a lot of red flags. I think we need to talk about these three.
Okay.
Okay, so is that all?
Mm,
Thing is
okay,
there?
my
Yes,
experience with
give me a
relationship.
practical example.
Okay, my experience with relationship has not really been good.
Wow, why?
As okay, first of all, I chopped breakfast from someone I was not dating.
Okay.
I liked the girl so much that time. I think I was in secondary school,
Mm,
SS3. Like secondary school, I knew her before then, sha, we're neighbors. So we became close friends and I liked her, but me as a good boy then, as a good boy, I didn't want to date her because I felt that if we go into a relationship then we have a long way ahead,
mm,
and so we might end up breaking up. So I was a friend, I was a really good friend to her. We're close that we became best friends. But she didn't really like me the way I liked her. So that was where that one went wrong. In the long run, I discovered that I was just pursuing vanity because she would never like me.
mm,
So that was it. And then the next relationship I went into, I think that one was just, let's say, was I just went into the relationship. It was a mistake. Let's say mistake. Me, I knew that that relationship will not lead to anywhere because one, she was a Muslim girl. Although
mm.
she said she was a Christian before she converted to Muslim.
Okay.
So, and I went into relationship because she was the one that liked me. I noticed that she liked me, so I was like, okay, since I liked somebody before, she not like me. Okay, this one that like me now, maybe it can work, something like that. But it didn't still work because we didn't have time to spend with each other.
Distance relationship.
Distance, we're on the phone, and she was not sincere. So she was not sincere.
Wow.
So I broke up with her. And then the last relationship I went to into, I think that is only two I've been into. The last one, she was a good girl, but she was not godly. She was not prayerful, and
Mm,
I was trying to make her do all those things, but it was not possible, sha. And also distance.
mm.
I do POP and I travel a lot. I go about.
Wait, you
So
you do what?
I do POP,
Wow, like
ceiling design, interiors,
wow.
TV stand, modern TV stand, painting also.
Okay.
Anything related to interior designs of building, interior and
Wow.
exterior designs, yes. So I move around a lot, so I didn't have her time, and she was not comfortable with it. She was not used to distance relationship, so the relationship ended.
Well, so
So those are my
what
experience.
motivated you to doing POP as a young guy? So tell me about your experience with your skill, because we talk about having skills in Nigeria, and tell
Okay.
me, and are you really cashing out? Is there money in it?
Thank God, sha. From beginning, my
Mm,
mother has always been the type that would tell us you must learn a skill.
mm,
immediately after we finish secondary school, we learn a skill before we go to the university. So I didn't have a problem with it. When I came out of when I finished secondary school,
Mm.
I didn't have a particular thing in mind to learn.
Mm.
Then she suggested POP,
Wow.
and I said, okay, let me give it a
You
try.
try.
So by the time I met the person, my oga then was my neighbor. So we talked about it, and I was seeing 2 years to learn work.
Mm.
Me in my mind, I was saying, I like before that 2 years, I'll just enter school. But by the we don't know the future. By the grace of God, I learned finish, and this is 3 years after I've learned my POP. 3 years into the work,
Wow.
apart from the time I learned it. And I've been moving little by little. I've been learning things, although I've been facing challenges because of my stature, or people
Because you
see
are
you.
young,
Yeah, because I'm young,
people
because I'm
don't.
small, so
Okay.
people will see you and judge you like, are you sure this
This
guy can
person
handle this work?
project.
Or yeah, the project. They don't know
Wow.
that we are the one that are more experienced. So
Yeah.
even though you don't have experience, if you are elderly and you talk with them maturely, they'll think you have experience. But people like us that have the experience, when we talk, they'll think we are just small. And when it comes to big projects, they'll feel you cannot handle it because
You
of the
run with the
money.
money.
You run with all those kind of things. So I've been having such challenges. I've lost a lot of jobs like that, but I've been growing, Sha. I've been growing, and I thank God.
Wow. That is beautiful. POP. Tell me how does it work? And how to put POP in this kind of house? How long will it take you to do it? And
Okay, the work is a stress work though for we that are working in, but money is everything. Money is everything. This house now I can deliver it in 1 week if you pay enough money. If you are managing, I can, because the more money you bring, the more hands I can put into the work. So
that's
that is
true.
how it yeah, that is how it is. So if it's uh only me that is working, highest 2 weeks. It's not even reach 2 weeks, for this house.
Wow. So getting handwork, especially after your secondary education, is very important. The government cannot employ everybody.
Yeah.
Nigeria, our adult population in Nigeria is over 80 million. So how many people can work? Right now, our federal government employs like 3 million civil servants. So let's say the state government employs like 2 million. That is like 5 million. So the many 95 million or 80, 75 million, who will give them? So you need to create your own job. So lastly, when do you intend to get married?
Okay.
At
I
what age?
I intend to get married at the age of from 27 to 30.
That is how many years from now?
That is like 5 years from now.
Okay, so
5 to 8 years from
this
now.
is when you should know who to marry or pray. So the first stage in this relationship talk is to pray, is to know for God to direct you on who to marry, so that when you see her, you will know. When I saw my wife, I knew she was going to be my wife. I asked her one question. I told her, "What is your 5 years plan?" And she answered me in less than 2 minutes. I said, "This woman just passed interview." Apart from other things that happen. So if you have the spirit of God, when you meet her, you will know, so that you have a straightforward relationship and not be playing around. Thank you,
Okay.
this interior, for coming to our show.
Thank you,
We
sir.
wish you all the best in your endeavor and everything you do.
Thank you. I'm
So
so
hope to
glad
see
to
you
be
in
here.
our next episode. See ya.